How can I overcome my hate of men? Hi, my name is Martha. I'm a clinical sexologist with a doctorate in human sexuality. I'm also a relationship coach, and you can find me at eroscoaching.com. So the hate of men is also known as misandry. So this is a term that I wasn't familiar with growing up. It is spelled M-I-S-A-N. D-R-Y. So you can look up more about it, and basically it's a hatred of, contempt of, or prejudice against men or boys. And the opposite of this, which is people who have that against women or girls, is called misogyny. And this is a term that I actually became more familiar with over the years. But let's talk about the hate of men. So how can you overcome your hate of men? So I'm sure lots of articles have been written about it, and I'm just going to share from a personal perspective in the hopes of this being useful to you. Lots of people don't realize this, but actually they have this, okay? This hate of men. And I don't want to focus so much on gender. I'm sure that there are men who also hate men, but I want to focus on, in this video, women who hate men. And you'll be surprised that there are women who hate men but don't even know that they hate men. And this can come from, for instance, just to give you some examples of say fathers who are unfaithful to their mothers. So then the child growing up would identify, being a female, identify more with the mother. And of course, boys who grow up seeing their mothers suffer will also end up hating men. But it's a double whammy because they themselves are growing up to be men. So a lot of women who have had negative experiences, not by themselves, but actually experienced by default of their family, can end up having a hate of men. And this hate of men can also come from popular media, where they have a lot of power, and also direct personal experiences of having had gender discrimination, sexual harassment, sexual violence towards them, resulting in the actual physical in the body, like hate of men, like scared of men, or so what I think happens is that when we feel overwhelmed, anger or hate is something that makes us feel strong. So instead of really looking into the deeper underlying issue of like, where is this hate of men coming from, actually a lot of it is sadness. Sad on how come, why this is being done to women. I'm speaking more to women in this video. So I want to share a little bit about how I cured my own hate of men, my own misandry. And I think this really happened. This is a personal story. I know sometimes I use personal stories to support in my work. And please don't judge me. So there was a time when I developed a hate of men after this very difficult relationship that I had. And I realized that this was not helping me at all, and it was definitely not helping me in my practice of working with men. I noticed that I was unfair towards, probably unfair towards men, and I was noticing that I was having less male clients as opposed to female clients. So I knew that my own internal stuff was resulting in an external reality. I knew all these things. So you know how you know, but you don't know like what you can do. Just like why you're asking this question, how can you overcome your hate of men? Okay, so what I started to do was I started to ask myself, what am I comfortable to do? What are you comfortable to do with regards to men? Are there men in your life that you feel comfortable and safe to hang out with? So this is what I did. I started hanging out, in fact, quite regularly with two men. And I thought that they were spiritual men, and I kind of really liked them. And so we hung out as friends, two girls, me and another girl, and then two boys. So the four of us formed this little mastermind, and we would meet I think was every 2 weeks or every week, I can't remember. And we met very, very often for a year, the entire year. And what we met, when we met, what we did was we support each other in our personal and professional goals, and gave each other like suggestions and all that for improvement. And so what happened during that time was that the way I felt about men started to shift. I started to realize that I really saw them, uh, their fears, their insecurities, their anxieties. I realized that actually men are really not that much different from women. It's just that they say a lot less things, but it doesn't mean that they feel less. It doesn't mean that they don't care. And as the so-called head of men started to slide, and the core started to shift, I started attracting clients who came for sessions and were sharing very like personal things with me, which made the rest of it go away, because I realized then that as much as women need healing, men also need healing. And how are they going to get the healing if women are so busy judging them? And as a sexologist, as a fellow human being, counselor, I realized that my own biasness is not serving me anymore. And the more I let go of, the less hang-ups I had, the more these clients started to show up. I don't mean show up as in I had more male clients, which I did, but I mean like show up, like they felt like, oh, I really got them. Like I wasn't going to be one of those women who hit them, was so hard on them. Like I was already on their side when they came in. They didn't need to work hard to persuade me to understand them. Like I already understood. They have a lot of stuff that women have too. And so the more I started to love men, the more they showed up, the more they um, um, became three-dimensional, the more they, more quickly they progressed in our session. And so then I realized in a roundabout way that I'm explaining in this long story, to heal your head of men, you need to learn how to really, really, really love them. Really love them. And I don't mean the man in your life. I don't mean the significant man in your life, like your father. I don't mean that. I don't mean your past lovers. I don't mean like your buddy, your best friend. I mean like all men. See all men, the collective men, as lovable. And when you really, really start to see them as man, woman, woman, man, doesn't matter what gender you are all worthy of love, you're all lovable. And sure, we are different, but we are also the same in a lot of the ways. The more you start to see the similarities in men and women, and the kind of wounds that we are all carrying, and how the hate of each other's gender is not serving humanity at all, and the more it slices away, the more you love them, the more they will show up for you, the more they will become brave and strong and do all those wonderful things for you, because you love them. And when you love someone, they cannot but want to show the best selves to you. And so this kind of a cycle started to happen in my life. This kind of window started to open from the head of man to having this doubt or question of like, surely not all men are, losers, assholes, scumbags. Surely not all men are like that. There's this little window, and then proof appeared. But the proof appeared only when I was open to seeing the evidence. So when that window opened, and then the proof started appearing, then the window started to open more, and then kind of like the floodgates started to open, and then I had more love, more compassion, and then there was more evidence, and then all these different layers of hate just started to slide off. And I would say right now, like I don't think I have any hate of men. Sure, there are people who do bad things, who say mean things, who make me feel unsafe, who harass me. However, I don't see them as, oh yeah, they are horrible men. I just see them as human. I just see that, oh, this is not a very nice person. Like, I don't attack men. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. It's an individual thing. So don't sweep it and generalize and say all men. Start to look for examples of men are not like that. Because let me tell you, you may not see this as important. However, the hate of men is not serving you at all. Because as much as you say you hate men, deep down you need men. You love men. You want men in your life. And even if you are a lesbian or a bisexual and you say I don't really need men, guess what, we live in this world, we interact with people of all genders, and so any hostility that you feel and project into the world, the person who's suffering is you. So yes, you do need to work on your hate of men and not generalize and get to a level where you love them. So this is in a roundabout way, a little bit of personal sharing and a little bit of advice. And I'd love to hear from you. So share with me your thoughts, comments below. And also you can email me at ask@eroscoaching.com.